Reunion, the most cherished of all gatherings among friends, unfolded within the cozy confines of a bustling cafe. As a group of friends come together to relive their shared history, laughter filled the air. Noah, the group's charismatic heartthrob with captivating greenish-brown eyes, decided to entertain the group by mimicking one of their former classmates. Laughter echoed as his friends, a mix of both boys and girls, enjoyed the hilarious impersonation. In midst of this joyful atmosphere, Victor cast a fleeting contemplative glance at Sandra. Their eyes met briefly, and Sandra seized this opportunity to tease Noah. "Sandra, don't you make fun of him, Noah. Remember your own misadventures?" Noah responded, "Look who is talking. Sandra, you are practically ancient now. So, tell us, when are you tying the knot?" Sandra grimaced and quipped, Yes, I must be ancient, diva." Sandra affectionately referred to Noah as a diva, promoting more laughter from their friends. Victor, always the life of the party, took the chance to poke fun at everyone in the group, except his girlfriend Olivia, who wasn't the part of their former class. Olivia, curious about how this spirited group had come together, couldn't help but inquire. "Olivia, so, how did you all meet?" Each friend took a turn sharing their own stories, recounting how their paths had crossed. Eventually, it was Sandra's turn. Her cascading curls seemed even more vivacious that day, and her hazel eyes sparkled as they caught the light. She began her tale. "Sandra, well, we go way back to the 4th grade, Victor and I. He was the most mischievous kid you could ever find, always in some sort of trouble." Her words carried an undercurrent of melancholy as she reminisced. Sandra and Victor had been unlikely friends who had known each other since 4th grade. Their differences were striking, yet they had thrived as friends within their close-knit group. Sandra was known for her free spirit and deep appreciation for her friends. Her forgiving nature often led her to overlook their flaws, and her habit of internalizing her care created misunderstandings among her friends. She had a reputation as a people pleaser, unable to assert herself even when the situation demanded it. Victor, in contrast, was strong-willed and possessed a sharp wit. He cared profoundly for his friends, a commitment evident through his actions. Victor was unabashedly himself, and he had a little patience for those who couldn't meet his standards. Their differences only seemed to strengthen their friendship. Victor was the first to criticize Sandra's choices, but he was also the first to help her pick up the pieces. He couldn't help himself. He believed that she could do better, be better. In high school, Sandra had dated a guy who wasn't right for her. Her friends, including Victor, had voiced their disapproval. One day, Victor, irritated by an unrelated matter, engaged in a harsh exchange. Sandra, attempting to offer consolation, suggested Victor could have handled the situation more politely. With no intention to wound, Victor retorted, "You, who can't even manage your own life, offering advice." Sandra was taken aback, her self-esteem plummeting. His words left her pondering her worth. Yet, their friendship continued as their camaraderie ran much deeper than momentary discord. They laughed together, cared for one another, and remained constant fixture in each other's lives. Victor remained her confidant through their high school days. He would listen to her and offer pragmatic advice, delivered with sharp edge. It wasn't the kind of support that involved sugarcoating reality, but rather aimed at humbling her ego, helping her see past her own imperfections. When she faced a heartbreaking setback, failing a vital entrance exam, Sandra bottled her emotions, refusing to show weakness. But one evening, as Victor visited her, she broke down. Instead of making light of the situation, as he often did, he simply sat in silence, his presence lending her strength. One day, while writing in her diary, Sandra cried, penning at the words, "I need some time to prove myself." Victor, without a word, seized her pen, striking out the word time and replacing it with courage. His silent gesture spoke volumes, offering encouragement she desperately needed. Life, however, has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. After Sandra's breakup with her high school boyfriend, she started talking to Arthur, a friend of Noah's. When Sandra shared this with Victor, he warned her that Arthur might not be the right person for her. She initially heeded his advice, but eventually entered into a secretive relationship with Arthur. Victor learned of this secret relationship through a mutual friend and felt a deep sense of betrayal and anger. The fact that she had kept it hidden hurt him the most. His anger became his means of coping with the overwhelming disappointment he felt. One evening, Victor sent Sandra a harsh message. "I don't consider you a friend anymore. You have become someone I'm ashamed of." Sandra was deeply hurt, but still cared for Victor enough to call him. During their call, Sandra expressed her regret, and Victor responded sternly. "Sandra, apologies alone cannot reshape your mindset." Months passed, and Sandra tried to mend their friendship, but Victor remained resolute. He allowed her to remain in their circle of friends, but their personal interactions dwindled to mere formalities. He only responded to her in case of emergencies. One evening, in the presence of their friends, Sandra couldn't help herself. She began talking to Victor, joking and sharing stories as they used to do. That night, Victor called her, his voice cold and distant. "Don't try to be friendly, Sandra." Sandra had no choice but to agree. The tears came easily this time. As time passed, their friends tried to mediate, understanding that both were in the wrong to some extent. Sandra had kept a relationship secret, and Victor had been unforgiving. But Victor remained firm in his decision. He would still hang out with Sandra in group settings, but their private friendship was no more. As they navigated the complicated terrain of their friendship, their common friend Noah also had his share of relationship-related issues. Some of their friends questioned Victor's double standards, but he dismissed their inquiries. "It's different with Sandra," he said. "She just doesn't learn. I can't consider her a friend anymore." Victor's loyalty had shifted, and Sandra was left to ponder whether apologies alone could reshape Victor's unyielding mindset. As Victor and Sandra looked at each other across the room, they chose not to make eye contact. While their relationship with others in the group appeared to be fine, the future of their own friendship remained uncertain. The unspoken apologies, the tears that had yet to be shed, and the unbreakable bond that had once defined their friendship now stood as both a source of joy and agony. Friendship can be a complex journey, and we all have stories to tell. I'd love to hear about your experiences, so feel free to share in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Ficteller for more heartfelt stories. Until next time, take care and keep those friendships alive. Thanks for watching.